Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video where I go through how I justify the cost of my Golf R. So I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, join me once again for another video here in the UK on a lovely Thursday lunchtime, nearly at the end of the week. Once again, thanks so much for the support to the channel, the subscriptions, continued support from you guys, and yeah, if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. You know, plenty of content on my channel. Plenty in the back catalogue to look up, and you know, a lot on my Mark 7 Golf R, a lot on the upcoming Mark 8 Golf R, a bit of fast forward, a bit of Porsche as well. So there's quite a variety of automotive content which I enjoy sharing. So yeah, it'd be great for you to be a part of that, because a big part of the channel is a lot around the community. So yeah, feel free to get involved in the comments. I do my best to reply to every comment I can, but there's other people that get involved as well on this channel, and that's what's great about it. Think of it as almost like a little forum in some ways as well, in some aspects. But yeah, straight onto this video, and I wanted to do it because I felt now was kind of a good time to potentially help people out, because I actually think it's quite a decent time to actually think about later on this year, once we're past the worst of kind of COVID, to actually get a Mark 7 Golf R. A lot of you guys may have a Golf R, as I know, and have spoken to you over the last few years, but some of you might actually be thinking about getting one and actually taking the plunge and doing it. And to be honest with you, probably no better time than soon, basically. And for me, that's a little bit because of where the car culture is going. We're all heading down electric. All kind of modern cars are getting heavier, they're getting quieter. Yeah, they're kind of losing their, that special part which a lot of car enthusiasts and people who are, you know, great followers of certain cars and certain models care about the most. So I kind of wanted to split this up into a couple of kind of categories in some ways, as I kind of talk through this longer video, and how I kind of justify the costs. And that's going to be around literally anything from depreciation from the previous car, tyre costs, servicing cost, body parts of the car, insurance, tax, MOT, all those kind of things. So that's how I'm going to kind of split this video up. So to help along towards that, how do I justify the costs of my Golf R? So this is all kind of personal and just how I've kind of gone about it. But I'll take it back to my car before my Golf R to how I kind of worked out the costs. So I had a Mark 7 Fiesta ST, if you're not familiar with my channel, before. And I had that car for about 4 years. And when I got that car, for me to justify taking the plunge and, you know, going into it and spending £19,500 on it, brand new, in my head I was kind of like, you know, I want this car for a long period of time. How does it kind of compare to the car that I had before? And I had a 1.4 Mark 6 Fiesta, naturally aspirated engine. So economy-wise, I knew it was going to be better. Tax-wise, it was somehow better as well, because we have all sorts of strange tax laws in the UK, mainly based on emissions and engine size and all sorts of things. Insurance-wise was less because they stopped making the Mark 6 Fiesta, so, you know, I can understand why it was so much cheaper, but it was. So all those little things added up for... That meant in a long period of ownership of the car, I can actually justify the costs. When I was making the same decision to go for a Golf R from my Fiesta ST, I did the same kind of thing. And at 4 years and nearly 39,000 miles on my Fiesta ST, I kind of felt that was probably not a bad time to actually sell the car, in terms of actually recouping some of the money that I obviously put into the car. Now, I knew from test drives and just from stats and data what kind of Golf R had to offer and what sort of costs I had to expect. One of the biggest costs is fuel. So I kind of said to myself, well, okay, my Fiesta ST, generally I was comfortably in the 40 mile per gallon mark, if not a little bit more. So yeah, I knew it was going to cost me a little bit more in fuel. Not actually as much as you'd think, but certainly a little bit more in fuel. So per tank, let's just say I spend an extra £15 per fill up. And if I'm filling up twice a month, it's looking at about an extra £360 a year on fuel, which I actually don't think is too bad. That's extra on top of what I would have already paid for the Fiesta ST. So that's going to be my kind of extra cost, and that's what I'm going to go into. You're not necessarily thinking about the outright cost, it's just the difference of what you would be paying before. Because I need a car to drive. Any car is going to have some sort of cost, whether you have a 1.2 2005 Vauxhall Corsa, it's going to have some costs associated to it, and you've just got to work out the differences. I need a car to get to work, I need a car to visit my family, I have a reason to have it. Also want a car to have a bit of fun in as well. So I knew fuel was going to be a little bit more, so I kind of thought about that. Insurance, my insurance quote was about £50 more per year, which wasn't actually too bad. I wasn't paying that much for the Fiesta ST. I was actually only paying about £360 a year for the Fiesta ST, which is pretty good. Insurance has gone up a little bit more now just because it always does. More data becomes available. Golf Rs, unfortunately, as I've mentioned in previous videos, are subject to theft, which is not great. Tax-wise, tax was actually confusingly £5 less. I think it's about the same now. So tax-wise, it was the same as my Fiesta ST, so there's no costs there. My car was only 3 months old, so I knew it wouldn't need an MOT for a couple of years. Still doesn't need an MOT. My MOT was actually due to expire today, but because of UK legislation, it's got a 6-month extension, so I've got essentially another 4 or 5 months before I need to MOT the car. That's a standard cost for all cars over which are 3 years old. So those are some of the costs initially. I knew servicing, like for like. I had a little check on like forums, and I had a little check on like, I did it for all the cars, to be fair, I was looking at, and the Golf R wasn't too bad. And actually, as it turns out, I haven't actually paid that much more for servicing than I did for my Fiesta. So I was quite happy with that. I have got a major service coming up, the Haldex service, so we'll see how much that costs me. But like for like, it's not that much difference, maybe £50–60 more for the Golf R, nothing major per year. Tyre cost, you're going to get through tyres, and actually strangely, with the Fiesta ST, fronts really only lasted sort of 17,000 miles, whereas on the Golf R, I was able to get to 25,000 miles, which is quite good. I actually changed the whole set because it's 4-wheel drive, and the Fiesta ST, the rear tyres never seem to lose any grip, so I never actually replaced those, just the fronts. But I wanted to do it on the Golf R just because I wanted it all aligned and stuff, so I went for that. But I knew tyre costs might be a little bit more, and actually in the UK it's all, and probably around the world, it's all based on rim size. So I knew the cost of replacing a tyre for my Fiesta ST, which was a 17-inch wheel, was sort of around £90 to £100. The Golf R for an 18-inch wheel is actually pretty much exactly the same. So costs like for like is actually exactly the same. It's only when you step up to a 19-inch wheel where suddenly it goes up by quite a large amount, by around sort of 50%. You end up paying sort of like £150 for a 19-inch wheel, wider rubber, etc., etc. It just costs more. So how to think about that? Again, as I've mentioned on the channel before, I liked how with my Ford Fiesta, fundamentally it's a Ford Fiesta. They've sold millions of those in the UK, those Mark 7s, so parts are easy to come by. If you scrape the bumper, scrape this, scrape that, it's not really going to matter. Unfortunately, I never did, but it's just a cost you've got to think about. Same with a Golf. Most of the Golf R body parts are still normal Golf. They've got a few little like side skirts and a little bit extra here and there, but fundamentally it is just a Golf. So I knew parts-wise it would be okay should the worst happen. Like, for example, I replaced my windscreen. It wouldn't make any difference whether I had a Fiesta ST or whether I had a Golf R, because I just claimed my insurance, paid the whatever it was, £50 excess, I think it was, and I had it replaced. So like for like costs there. So the differences are either none or a small amount. I'm sure there's a couple of other things as well, but those are kind of the main fundamentals that I thought about, and how can I justify those costs? Well, one of the actual biggest things is depreciation. Now, I knew the VW dealer offered me £9,000 for my Fiesta ST, so that was a depreciation hit of £10,500 over 4 years, which is quite a lot. So if you take my Golf R now sitting on just under 30,000 miles, if I had whacked on another 30,000 miles on my Fiesta ST to bring it up to 70,000 miles, and it would obviously then be a 7-year-old car because I got it new in 2013. What would that car be worth? Well, it'd probably be worth about anywhere between £5,500 to £6,000. So it would have lost £3,000 anyway, if not a little bit more. So for me, I kind of thought about all of those little things to justify the Golf R. And the key was for me was to get in at the right time and the right point. And again, why I'm kind of sharing this video, quite a long one, but I hope you find it useful. I got in at my Mark 7 Golf R just as the 7.5 was coming out. That was the big thing. Everyone wanted to get into that. So I sort of snuck in the back door and basically got a Mark 7 because I was able to get a pretty fantastic deal. you know, to spend not too much over £24,000 for practically a brand new Golf R, I'm quite happy with. You know, I don't finance my cars. I was really happy with the price I paid for a 1,300 mile car, essentially a demo from the dealer. You know, what's my car worth today? I don't know. It's too hard to tell in COVID, but it's probably lost maybe £5,000. I always keep kind of tabs on it. I've seen dealers sell my car for sort of anywhere from 20 to 21,000. To be fair, that sort of mileage. So yeah, that's quite encouraging. So that's how I kind of justified the cost. I just compared it to what I had before. What more would I be paying? And over the long term sort of ownership, it's actually costing me a hell of a lot less. I mentioned about the depreciation. The Fiesta ST cost me £10,500 over 4 years. Next year, I can't really imagine my car being worth £14,000. So, yeah, it's held its value a lot better from what I paid from it initially, which I'm really happy about, and that's kind of what I want to keep going forward. You know, I want to keep, if I do get another car, that's what it's got to compete with. It's got to be cost effective. It's got to keep shrinking that gap for me. That's just what I want to do, and still be an awesome, fun car at the same time. And it's really hit the spot. So I hope that sort of justification kind of helps you out in your kind of purchase, or just gives you some insight into that side of things. You know, I'm still running this Mark 7 Golf R, and I'm still really enjoying it and enjoying sharing it with you. And I think now is potentially a good time. You know, talk a lot about the Mark 8 Golf R. You know, it's a good period to think, well, actually, sneak in the back door, maybe get a facelift 7.5, you know, the right one for you. I may do another video in the future because I get a lot of people commenting and talking to me about kind of the right Golf R. Yeah, I kind of have an idea of what that would be and what age that would be, which I'll share in another video because I kind of want a bit of a dedicated video on that one. But yeah, I think it's a good time, and just justify it for you. You know, if you're running let's just say you're running a 1.6 litre Mark 7 Fiesta, so 10-year-old car with the 1.6 litre naturally aspirated engine, 138 brake horsepower. You could then think to yourself, oh, what are the cost savings? You know, what is the difference that I'm going to be paying? You know, I can tell you one thing: the Golf R is going to be a hell lot more economical, which is crazy to think of a 300 brake horsepower car. So that's the one main thing, and you've just got to kind of pinpoint it in all of those little things, and you know, see if it works for you. If you can't make the costs work, don't necessarily worry. Just save. You know, time is the best way to save. You know, you're not necessarily going to be losing out by holding on to what you have. People were surprised why I kept my Fiesta ST so long. People chop and change cars all over the place. I was just like, you know, I'm enjoying it. Why would I want to get rid of it? And it's the exact same thing with the Mark 7 Golf R. Change when it's right for you, not when it's right for a dealer or someone else. Unless I know a lot of people finance their cars, 90-95% of people finance their cars, absolutely fine. I don't. I just like more control, and yeah, the the interest and all that kind of stuff I'd rather put towards other things. There is a much bigger cost than your car. Your car's the second most expensive thing you're going to buy, but yeah, if you want a house or something like that, that's probably should be a higher priority for you, depending on your age. You know, if you're sort of like 20 years old, you know, you've just earned enough money, like I did with the Fiesta ST, go ahead and do it. You know, just you know, you only live once, but don't necessarily be crazy and start overstretching yourself. And you know, I talk to people who don't have a Golf R anymore, and thanks to them still staying tuned to the channel, and they've upgraded to say like an Audi RS3. They can justify the costs because, well, they earn the money to be able to pay for it. Simple as that. And you kind of weigh it out that way. And so it's whatever suits you. But I think a Golf R is a good car to kind of get into at this moment. Simple as that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this longer video insightful. And please give it a like if you've enjoyed it. And you know, stay tuned for plenty more content around my Mark 7 Golf R and the latest on kind of like the Mark 8 Golf R. Porsche GT4 RS looks like it's going to be insane. I heard a clip of it around the Nürburgring, and I was like, yes, flat six cylinder glory. You know, happy days. It's, yeah, noise is such an important aspect of a car, and it really does. And a new product from Porsche as well, so that's quite cool. As long as fast forward content, I've got a Ford video coming up soon as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.